Hey man,
Hey, welcome in, Timo. My name's Yassine. How you doing today?
I'm doing good, man. How are you?
Wonderful. Enjoying London weather. Good vibes all around, man. I believe you're speaking to Michael in the DMs. Hopefully, he didn't bore you too much.
Yeah, I've spoken with him in the DMs, and after that, we just had a phone call
Hmm.
about the program. Uh, what is the main reason that I was curious, etc., etc.
Fantastic. What was the main things that you were talking about?
Just mainly getting to know me, because
Hmm.
he, of course, said in the conversation that
Yeah.
you guys need to have a clear picture of me as well to even see if I could potentially be the match.
Hmm.
So just more about where I wanted to go to, etc., etc.
Fantastic. Well, let's get this call moving. Timo, how these calls usually go, like you already know. I find a bit more about you, where you want to go, and if we're a good fit for each other. If we are, perfect. We get you potentially onboarded today. I run you exactly through how we're going to get you to where you want to go. And if not, no worries. At least you leave here with some value. Sound good?
Sounds perfect. Sounds perfect.
Incredible. So, Timo, what are you looking for specifically when it comes to your weight loss and working with us here at VShred?
Yeah, to be honest, just to really lose some pounds, man.
Hmm. And what does that look like for you? How many pounds are you looking to lose?
I would love to lose like I think 55 pounds.
55 pounds. Okay. How much are you weighing right now?
I'm weighing 280.
80.
Yeah,
Okay. And how tall are you?
62
6'2". Okay, shit. 280, 6'2". That's okay. So you want to get down to two,
to
230,
25.
225 pounds.
Yeah.
Okay, cool. Okay. And is that your ideal weight, or are you saying that because part of you is holding back and you want to be a bit realistic with
Oh no, I think that's my ideal weight. Yeah.
it? Okay, fascinating. Good. How long have you wanted to lose that 55 pounds?
Past 7 months, I think.
Past 7 months. Okay, 7 months. How long have you been thinking about losing that 55 pounds?
Uh, I think the last 10 months I've been thinking
10
about it,
months.
and the last like 7 months I'm trying to work on it. Yeah.
Interesting. What was happening in those 3 months before, out of curiosity?
Just it came in my head, but it wasn't really that I was like, oh yes, fuck, let's make a change right now. So it was going through my head, but
Hmm.
I wasn't taking action till like
Hmm.
3 months after. Yeah.
Okay. What made you come into your head?
Sorry.
What made it come into your head that you wanted to lose that 55 pounds?
Well, back then it wasn't 55 pounds. To be honest, like then it was like maybe 25 pounds. But of
Right. Okay.
course, like it keeps on gaining.
Okay. So during the time you realized you wanted to lose weight, you actually kept on putting the weight on.
Yeah, unfortunately, yes.
I see. I understand. And what was going on there where you were putting on the weight?
Um, Working a lot, man. Not a lot of structure, to be quite honest with you.
Hmm. Lack of structure. What do you mean by that?
So when I mean structure, I mean like some days I was going to the gym and was looking at like my calorie intake, etc., etc. And other days I just didn't, and I just don't have a structure or like a working technique that I can incorporate every single day. So yeah,
Okay. So,
that's
so when you
just
say you're going to the gym some days and you're getting the food in on certain days.
yeah.
Okay. And then on other days you're falling off and it was inconsistent. I understand. So, and how long would you say you've been like this for, where you have certain days where you have structure and other days where you don't?
Past well the 7 months since I started.
Past 7 months.
You know,
Okay. And during that 7 months, have you also been putting weight on still?
yeah.
Okay. Shit. Okay. I understand. You did say you've got a lot of work. I'm curious to see what you mean by that. What does that look like for you?
Sorry.
You said you've got a lot of work along with the lack of structure. What does the lot of work look like?
I work like 13 hours a day right now.
Okay, what do you do?
I work as an HR director. So
Okay,
yeah.
okay. I don't know the ins and outs of what a HR director is. What kind of things do you have to do?
So like of course like we are making sure that the company is healthy on the back end. So whenever
Hmm,
you of course have your contracts, we make sure that we that the right people, the right colleagues are getting hired. We make
yeah.
sure that everything around your payment is good. Whenever you're sick, that you still get paid, or whenever you are sick for long term, like that you have a conversation with us. So we're there mainly just to provide for the colleagues that we have in the business.
Gotcha, I understand. So it's a lot of sedentary work. You're sitting down a lot.
A little bit.
A
Yeah.
little
So
bit. Are you
as
moving around
strategic,
for some of it as well?
I got like two recruiters, three business partners, and they're more operational, and I
Right.
am more like thinking about the strategy where we are into 27, etc.
Okay, interesting. Curious. When you have those days where you have that structure and you're on point,
Yeah.
what's going on that's different that's leading to actually get the work done on these days?
To be honest, like then I just get like a motivational boost, and I'm like, yeah, fuck, I'm gonna make a change. But I just don't have the feeling that the things that I am incorporating is are the things that are gonna make a change for me.
Okay. What kind of things exactly are you implementing? You did say you're going to the gym and you're
Tried a
changing the way
lot,
you
man.
eat.
Tried like intermittent fasting. I tried keto diets. I tried so
Right.
many things.
Okay. So you've tried keto. How
Yeah,
how did you
something like
how
that.
long did you try that for?
3 weeks.
3 weeks. Why did you stop?
I didn't saw results.
What did you not lose weight or were you having
Didn't
side
lose,
effects?
just didn't lose weight.
Didn't lose weight with keto. Interesting. Were you tracking the calories?
As far as I could, like sometimes we just order food at like work because we're staying longer at the office. So those could be things that maybe interfered my results.
Mm. Because weight loss, it's again being transparent with you. Weight loss is 80% of what you eat and 20% how you work out. The nutrition is the key here because it's calories in, calories out. If your calories in are higher, then it doesn't actually matter what you eat. You're always going to either stay at the same weight or put on weight. Would you
Yeah,
say that's fair to say? Okay, okay. So it sounds okay. So even keto, intermittent fasting. What's happening with the intermittent fasting?
didn't like it, man, and didn't saw results within the 2 weeks that I
Hmm.
did it. So
Okay, didn't see results. I see, and you didn't like it.
yeah, like fasting is just really harsh, man.
What's hard about it?
I'm just, I just don't think, I just don't see the longevity in it.
You mean you don't see how you could sustain it?
Yeah,
Okay, I understand. Okay, cool. Well, you said you've tried keto, you've tried fasting, and you've actually put on weight for the last 7 months. Curious, what other things have you tried to, first of all, get the weight under control, and then actually bring yourself down and lose 55 pounds?
go to the gym, man.
Gym.
But I'm not really that experienced, so I just maybe mainly did like lifting, etc., etc. But not really something that's mainly towards losing some weight. Um,
Yeah.
so as I touched a lot of things, but it's not like as how it should probably.
Yeah. Yeah. When it comes to the weight loss, again, 80% is really having the diet nailed in on point and having it sustainable for you, working around what you like and what you don't like. And the gym is also a huge part of that because when you're working out, getting a good workout in, that also increases your appetite. You're burning more, you're burning more. You can actually eat more what you want to because you're moving around. I'm curious, what kind of things are you doing in the gym? You said you're just lifting a little bit. What does that actually look like?
I just do like powerlifting sometimes, like two, maybe 1 or 2 times a week, maybe one time a week. To be quite honest with you, I just powerlift with some old friends.
Okay, so you're going to the gym once a week.
Yeah,
I see. And the powerlifting is it more of a social event as opposed to a workout?
I'm not trying to sell this. I sell it like that, but
I don't know. You tell me. I want to know what's going on with you.
yeah, maybe a little bit. Of course, like we are pushing weight, right? But it's not that serious.
Okay, it's fun. I get that. I work out with friends as well. It's a fun environment. Okay, okay, okay. So going to the gym once a week. Hmm. What do you feel is the main thing that's holding you back from, first of all, getting your weight under control and actually then losing that 55 pounds, getting to 225 pounds?
Just a working schedule that's just sustainable.
A working schedule that's sustainable. Okay, interesting. Timo, I'll tell you what I see here. Again, correct me if I'm wrong. I want to make sure that I've read this correctly. The working schedule is correct, but it's only half true. So what I'm seeing here, you've tried a lot of extreme things, keto diets, intermittent fasting, and then you've only sustained them for short periods of time. And then you've not seen results or something's not worked for you, and then you relapse. Now I'm guessing when you relapse, it's you go down this downward spiral of, well, I've fallen off, might as well just carry on for a little bit until you get that next spike of motivation. Does this sound does this sound right?
Yeah,
Okay. And then again with the food, it's the same story. You get this spike, you do this extreme stuff with the food, then things come up and then you slip off again. It's the same with the gym. So would I be right in saying that it's not just it, these mechanisms all work, but the real thing that's holding you back is finding something that's first of all tailored to you and works for you, and then also not coming from a place of relying on motivation because you've been doing that for the past 7 months. You get these spikes, you get these highs, you get these lows. Would you say that's fair to say?
yeah, definitely, definitely.
Okay. So if we look at this, you've been coming at this from a place of relying on motivation, which comes and goes. What do you feel would be a better place to approach this from?
Consistency and longevity.
Consistency and longevity. Bingo.
I
I agree.
think, yeah.
Bingo. No, no, I agree. Why is that?
Well, like in a way, like I do have the feeling that if I stay longer within a specific program, that at the end you will always see results. But
Hmm.
it's just a sense of consistency and something that's just easier to incorporate. So I did like the intermittent fasting, but I thought by myself like, why should I continue this? Like this is not something you're gonna do for like an entire year, right? And I'm just not searching for something that is only for now to lose some pounds and then afterwards gain it all back again. So
Yeah,
that's why I quitted that. I was like, that's not sustainable. And once I do reach my goal, what do I have to do then? Right?
that's correct. You're just gonna circle right back round.
Yeah, right.
Okay. And I get where you're coming from. Over the last 7 months, what do you feel like you've missed out on by not coming from a place of consistency and longevity, but instead coming from a place of motivation?
What do you mean?
So if for the last 7 months you are operating from a place of I'm going to be consistent and I'm also going to find something that works for me, works with what I like and what I don't like. What have you missed out on not doing that for the last 7 months?
Bro, a lot, man. A lot of joy, of course.
Well,
Yeah.
tell me, what does that look like for you? What have you missed out on?
So, yeah, gaining so many pounds, like, of course, I already was around 225. And it just did something with my self esteem in a bit, in a sense,
Mm.
uh, because it is visible right now that I gained some pounds. So it does a lot with me.
Yeah.
You know,
Self-esteem. How does that show up in your day-to-day life?
just feeling having less courage, just
Mm.
being a little bit more in the background, maybe as well,
Quieter,
quieter.
quieter. Okay, I understand. And besides the self-esteem, what else are you seeing that you're missing out on?
I think that's it.
That's it, the self-esteem. Okay. Well, let's look ahead the next 3 years. So you're still operating from this place of spikes of motivation and inconsistency, and you're still dealing with the consequences of a lowered self-esteem. What's that going to look like for you in your day-to-day life in the next 3 years if you keep on going like this?
Would definitely hate myself, I think, if I just keep continuing what I'm doing right now. Then
I didn't hear what you said.
I would definitely hate myself if I would continue being in this scenario for the upcoming time without
Okay.
change.
Why would you hate yourself?
Yeah, because I just really want to make a change, man. And
Yeah.
if I'm just gonna stay on this path, it's not even that I'm gonna stay at this weight, right? I'm just gonna keep on gaining
Gaining
weight.
weight.
It's bridge is gonna have to be taller and taller, so longer and longer. I mean, sorry. So
Hmm.
I just need to change it ASAP.
I understand. I've also noticed that when you say these things, that obviously they hold a lot of pain in you. I've noticed that you laugh. Is that a way to kind of dull the pain and make it more manageable?
Maybe a little bit. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. I understand where that comes from. It definitely helps soothe. Do you mind if I offer some perspective on this?
Hmm.
In order to really change, you need to feel the full sting of where you are. So by laughing at your own pain, you're actually robbing yourself of the energy you need to get out of that situation. Would you agree?
Yeah, I would
Yeah.
agree.
Yeah. Okay. Well, when we look ahead the next 3 years again, and we look at the version of you, you've taken action, you've stepped into this new identity, you're disciplined. That's the word. You're disciplined. You're working with something that works for you and what you like, and you're consistent. Where will you be in the next 3 years when you're operating from this new place?
You say 3 years or few years?
3 years. 3 years.
Three. Oh, that's quite far. No idea, man. I think lean, in
Okay.
shape, just doing the same thing.
Yeah.
But
3 years is a long time. Let's say 12 months, make it closer, more easy to imagine.
yeah, 12 months from now, I hope that I'm back towards 225, having more confident, just in shape,
Hmm.
uh, going to the gym, being able to prep my food as well, and
Yeah.
not necessarily that it's like overtaking my lifestyle because it's not my aspiration to become like a bodybuilder or like a fitness coach online. But yeah, I would love to have a healthy schedule where, well, going to the gym and prepping my own food is
Hmm.
within that,
Integrated into your life.
integrated in my life. Yeah.
Perfect. Okay. Well, when we look ahead at the next 12 months, Timo, it looks like you have two paths. So one path is you keep on going down the path that you've been on the last 7 months, relying on spikes of motivation, doing these extreme things for a short amount of time, and then falling off, not working with something that's genuinely personalized to you.
Mhm.
Going down this path, putting on more weights, and suffering the consequences of the low self-esteem and, in your own words, hating yourself. That's
Yeah,
what the next 12 looks like if you go down this path. The other path is you step into this new identity of discipline, longevity, and consistency. You're integrated, healthy lifestyle, prepping your own food, enjoying it because it works for you, going to the gym, enjoying it again because it works for you. Which path are you choosing here today on this call?
definitely the path where I lose my pounds and stay consistent.
Hmm. Why? Why this one?
I've been in the other one for a while right now, and I don't like it here.
Hmm. I understand. Why choose this one now? Because you've been on this one for the last 7 months. Why
I've been
this new one right
trying.
now?
Like I always wanted to go towards the other path,
Hmm.
but the things that I found were just not the things that were getting me to that next level.
Hmm. They weren't working with certain things, like certain things you like or didn't like.
Sorry.
They weren't working with certain things that you wanted to work with. Like they weren't looking things you
Yeah,
like or dislike.
yeah. So I wasn't reaching my goals, and it was just not something that was really easy to integrate in my lifestyle. And yeah, man, I'm just searching for a working technique in that sense.
Okay. Was there a turning point that made you search out and look for expert help?
Guidance, the proven formulas, testimonials, um, Yeah, of course you can find a lot of things like on YouTube, right? But it's just like a information overload.
It is, and it's not tailored to you.
Right.
Yeah. Okay. And that tailoring is one of the main things that you, well, it's a main problem, one of the main problems. I understand. I understand where you're coming from. Okay. Well, I want to really get a good look at what your life is looking like. So when it comes to making change, you need two things in place. You need to know where you're going. You need that clear vision. You also need to know what you're running away from. So let's picture it like this. Usain Bolt, when he's running 100 meters, he's very, very quick. But Usain Bolt, if you put a hungry tiger behind him, he's running a lot quicker. Yeah. Would you agree?
Definitely.
Yeah.
Definitely.
So, so this is what drives us to take action. So you said earlier that what the main thing, the main effect that you see in your day-to-day life because of your weight gain, so being 280 pounds and putting on weight, was a knock in your self-esteem. You said you feel less courage and you feel quieter. What does that less courage, how does that actually show up in your day-to-day life?
Mm, just being more in the background, man. Like I was way more like extroverted, way more on the front side.
Oh,
Uh, and well, now I'm not that guy anymore.
okay. When you say you're more in the background, in what situations are you more in the background?
In every man, with friends, with colleagues, like with a lot of scenarios, I'm just not
Shit.
the outgoing guy anymore.
Almost like you're invisible.
In a sense, compared to
Yeah,
Timo 1.0, definitely. Yeah.
yeah. Okay, I understand. Shit. Okay. So when you're with friends and you're feeling almost like you're well in the background, what's going on internally?
Then I just really need to get towards my older situation and well, the better version of that, and not this situation where I gained so much pounds that I have the feeling that it's affecting me as well mentally.
Yeah. Mm. When you're in the background, like why is that actually bothering you? Some people do actually like being quieter. Why is that bothering you?
Well, because I know as a person that I wasn't that person, so I know that's not myself. Some people are just like that, but because I well gained all those pounds, I just lost it because I know I'm not a calm person for myself, but it's just a lack of belief in myself that really made me a little bit more shallow, a little bit more well back in the background.
Yeah, a lack of belief. Is that like a belief tied to the fact that you try things and then hop off because they don't work?
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, because Taylor. Okay, I understand. That's one of the spirals. Okay, I see where you're coming from. And being in the background and being quieter, when you find yourself in these patterns where you're like, okay, I'm like this, and I know it's because of a lack of self-belief and it's lack of courage. How is that actually affecting you in that moment? How is that making you feel?
Hate it, man. Yeah, really hate it.
Hate it, absolutely. And can I ask, do you have a wife or girlfriend at the moment?
Yeah, I do. I do have a girlfriend.
Yeah,
Well, we're engaged, so yeah, why?
engaged.
That's it.
Congratulations.
Thank you, man. Thank you very much.
Okay.
Yeah, man. Just 3 weeks ago.
Yeah. Well, that's recent. Well done, man.
Thank you, man. Thank you.
When when you say you're dealing with less courage, does this also bleed into how you interact with your fiance?
Definitely, man. 100%.
In what way?
Well, she just knows that it really affects me as well. And of course, she doesn't really like the version that I am right now. Um,
Hmm. What doesn't she like?
well, visual, of course, like
The
physical.
visual.
Yeah, I gained some pounds and it's really visible. But like the way I am right now as well, because she, of course, didn't fall in love with like the more introverted guy with not a lot of self-esteem guy version of me, but she fell in love with the guy that was previous to this.
Shit, that's rough. Okay. Okay, you said she doesn't like what she sees visually. Is it what do you feel like she doesn't like visually?
Just physical and like
The physical.
just yeah, just my physical. Just gain some fat, so I'm just not fit.
And when you say this out loud, knowing that she was attracted to a different version of you, and there's parts of you that you know she's not attracted to, or less attracted to now. What's how is that actually making you feel when you say that out loud?
Bro, hey man,
Hate
that's
it.
why
Yeah.
I don't like to have that conversation. Like, of course, it's painful. It's really painful.
Yes. I understand why you don't want to, but do you understand why it's necessary to have these conversations in order to move past it?
Yeah, definitely.
100%. You mentioned earlier that you feel less fit. Mm. Do you find that's affecting your energy in any way?
Mm, it was gradual, so I don't really have to think like compare myself towards like when I was 225. A bit, yeah, because I have two dogs, and before like I could walk for like 4 hours with them in the woods, and now it's just a bit less. Yeah, definitely.
Okay. A bit less. Is it significant or
1.5 hour, 2 hours compared to five. So
okay, that's over half.
yeah,
Shit, that is significant. Shit. Okay, so you've gone from 5 hours a week to 1.5 to 2 hours a week with your
yeah,
dogs. Shit. Okay. Is that something that you love to do? Taking your dogs out for a walk?
yeah, definitely, man. I got two like Doberman Pinschers. They're
Yeah.
amazing, and well, of course, they're really like working dogs, so they need to
Yeah.
express their energy. They need to let it out, otherwise my furniture will all be gone.
Yeah.
So they
Yeah.
definitely need some work, right? And I love it as well. But yeah,
Yeah. 100%. That's what they're designed to do. They need to get out there into the outdoors and be walking around.
yeah, definitely.
Interesting. And you said that you've now got less energy. You've halved what you were able to do with them. So in that sense, you're able to give your dogs less because you have less energy.
Yeah,
Okay. So acknowledging that, what does that actually mean to you, knowing that you've got less energy to give to your dogs?
yeah, painful as well, man. Because of course, like those dogs are my life as well, and I just love spending time with them, and the fact that because of my body, I limit my time with my dogs. It's like actually crazy to think about.
When you say it's crazy to think about, what do you mean by that?
It's just an awful realization. And sometimes you just try to not think about things and just let things be. But whenever you just stand still and think about it, it's just like insane to think about it.
Yeah. When you say it's easy to not think about things, do you feel, in your opinion, that helps improve the situation, or it
No,
just makes
definitely
it
not.
worse?
It will make it worse, of course.
Yeah. So would you say going forward, instead of not thinking about it, instead having real but honest conversations like these is more effective?
100%.
100%. Okay. Okay. So we looked at what your current situation looks like right now. We looked at what you don't want, what you're running away from. So lower self-esteem, lack of courage, feeling like in the background with friends, feeling when you're looking in the mirror, you're not proud of yourself, and also knowing that your fiance, who you love very much, she was attracted to a different version of you, and there's parts of you that she isn't attracted to now. And on top of that, there's the less energy. So you over halved the time you can spend with your dogs. Can I ask, in the next 12 months, when you keep on going down this path, what does that look like if this all gets worse?
I don't know, man. I don't even want to think about it actually.
I understand, but what we said earlier is which one actually helps, avoiding the situation or having a real, honest conversation about what your situation is.
Yeah, yeah, uh, yeah. 12 months. Like if I don't take action, then I would have gained many more pounds. I think if I just keep doing the same thing that I'm doing right now, um, and it will definitely not be good for my relationship as well.
In what way do you feel it would affect your relationship?
Well, because of course, like she experienced that I'm changing a little bit in the way I am, and well, that's just a little bit of a clash sometimes.
Clash in what way?
I just like I always was like the leader in in like the relationship, and
Mm.
right now because I'm a bit more like laid back, more to the background, a little bit more insecure about myself. It is really visible and noticeable in well how we communicate with each other, and now it's like yeah, I didn't want to like put like hierarchy there, but it's more like we're tied right now, and she just needs a leader, and I just can't be that provider, leader, man.
That's rough because relationships they need polarity. You don't want to be here because this is where friends are. Polarity. You want a leader and you want guidance.
Right.
So saying that out loud, knowing that that's not where you are, you're more here where she's looking for guidance and can't find it. How does that make you feel saying that out loud?
Awful, awful. Because I can acknowledge it, definitely. It's not
Yeah.
necessarily what I'm saying like, no, it's not the case. Like
Yeah.
it is noticeable. So
Okay.
she's really close to me, so it's not
Yeah.
crazy. She notices.
Okay.
That's
In this situation where you are losing this position of guidance and leadership and that polarity with your fiance and having a decreased attraction, having lower self-esteem, less courage, and less energy to spend with your dogs. Is this something that you're willing to settle for and let happen moving forward?
no, definitely not.
Okay, why not?
As I said, man, I just don't fucking like it. No, just really need to go home.
Yeah. Well, earlier I said we need both when it comes to taking action, what you're running away from, and also what you're looking towards. So, can I ask, when you are at 225 pounds, where you are enjoying prepping your food and going to the gym, you've got that courage, that self-esteem, you got that back. What does your day-to-day life look like then?
Cool, man. Just balanced. Not much change from now on, like schedule wise, of course.
Hmm.
Incorporating going to the gym, incorporating meal prepping, um, just more confident.
More confidence. And that more confidence, what would that allow you to do
Just being more out there.
out there? In what sense?
Well, being more social, I think.
Okay. When you're being more social, what kind of things would you be doing when you're more social?
Same things, but just with more flair, just talking more,
Hmm.
being more on the front page. Yeah,
More flair, being more out there, connecting with more people.
yeah, definitely.
Okay. And connecting with more people, what does that actually mean to you?
A lot, man, of course.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's a basic human need to want to connect with people.
Sorry?
It's a basic human need to
Yeah,
want
of
to connect
course.
with people. Yeah, yeah.
Right.
So seeing that, being able to connect with more people because you feel more confident, you feel more courageous, and you have this flair about you. How does that make you feel when you see this version of yourself?
Amazing, man.
Amazing,
Definitely.
100%. And also looking at your two dogs, you said you have two Dobermans. Yeah, energetic. When you're giving them this newfound energy, going back to those 5 hours, maybe even more if you want to, because you love doing it. the dogs are getting the exercise that they need, and they're really enjoying themselves. What would that mean to you?
A lot, man. Of course, as I said, those are like my kids, so
Yeah,
it mean a lot to me.
yeah. And that you'd see them be less restless in the house, not buying the furniture.
Exactly.
100%. And mainly, when you see that change in your physical body, so you feel you're looking a more fit, 225 pounds at 6'2". That's a good place to be. So you're seeing more fit, more toned, more muscle. You see some definition here. How will that change the way your wife looks at you or your fiance looks at you?
I hope we can just get back to where we were like before that, before I gained all those pounds, and
Mm.
just have a way more healthy relationship with
Yeah.
just like your natural roles within a relationship.
I challenge you there when you said go back to the way things are. Things they never actually we like to think things can go backwards. They never can go backwards because we're always constantly evolving as humans.
True,
So the person you were back then didn't have the same problems you have today.
true.
Yeah. So getting to that 225 pounds, losing that 55 pounds, this would be a version of Timo that has overcome problems that the other version didn't overcome.
Yeah, that's very true. That's very
Mm.
true.
So you wouldn't be going back to the way things were. In fact, you would be moving forward. This would be a
Yeah,
new and improved
yeah, makes total sense.
thing.
Makes total sense.
And your fiance would see that. So you
Yeah,
should see how you drag yourself out and overcome this hurdle. So seeing that, seeing how her man can face these
overcome
demons,
that. Yeah,
overcome them, and be that leader and do all these things so that you can provide guidance for your woman. How that really affect her?
a lot, man. I think it would do a lot for our relationship again.
In what
Definitely.
way?
Just make it more, flourish it up more, be
Yeah.
more intimate. Just that, man.
Yes. And how do you think that would make her feel?
Amazing, of course.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
100%. And knowing that you can do all this, and you can do all this for your fiance, be that man who can create this polarity. How does that make you feel inside, knowing that this can be with you?
Good, of course.
Good,
I see it in myself. Definitely.
100%. Well, Timo, when we look forward at the version of you in 12 months' time, you've you've lost the 55 pounds. You've got this increase in self-esteem. You've got this flair, this edge back again, so you can be social, make connections, be social around your friends.
Hmm.
You're consistent with your food, your exercise. You can take your dogs out for a walk. You know that they're getting what they need, and your relationship. You've taken full control as the leader. That you've got that polarity there, and your wife loves and respect. Your fiance loves and respects you, and the man that you've become. Overcome your challenges. To know you've achieved all that, what would that moment be worth to you?
A lot, of course.
A lot. In when you say a lot, what does that really mean to you?
I just think that, of course, like that's why we're doing this, right?
Hmm. I want to understand where you're coming from because again, I'm on one side of the call. I really want to know what this looks like for you. So when you say a lot, what does that genuinely mean to you?
Of course, like that would mean a lot to me, like having
Yeah,
reached all those goals, because that of course like the point is where I want to move away from.
yeah. I get what you're saying. I get what you're saying. So when it comes to looking to the future that you want and we want, Timo, every action that we've taken up until this point, who's been in charge of that?
I did.
100%. So when it comes to making the changes, who has to take responsibility for what we do moving forward in order to improve this?
I did.
Perfect. And when it comes to stepping into this new version of yourself, Timo, the version of yourself that works with consistency, integrates this new lifestyle, and can embody courage, consistency, and polarity. When would be the most appropriate time for you to step into this new identity? Would it be
As
now
fast as
or next
possible
week?
right now. Right now. Of
Right now. Right. Why right now?
course, like I want to make it now, right?
You tell me. Some people they like to wait months. Why right now for you?
I don't know. We're in it right now. I have been struggling for the past few months, so I would love to make the change right now.
Beautiful. Well, Timo, based on the conversation that we had, I know that we can get you to where you want to go, losing that £55, getting to that £225, where you have that courage, that self-belief, and that confidence, the energy. Would you like me to walk you through exactly how we can do that for you?
Yeah, sure.
Perfect.
Amazing.